Yep, that's the key to independence. But we got a lot of work to do. So if you don't mind, we can I can go ahead and start the broadcast, and bro can come on whenever you're ready.
Actually, I wanted YouTube to do the broadcast. I was just setting things up for him.
Oh, no problem. Okay.
Give me a sec. Let me check him real quick.
Okay. Peace, peace. What's going on, everybody? We have a special live broadcast today. We didn't really put a lot of time in the scheduling, but we decided that we don't have too much time to wait or procrastinate, so we went ahead and put this thing together. So I'm waiting on brother Ramzu to clock back in with us so we can get this started, so we can have this talk. Peace, 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 peace. What's good? Michael Hill, what's good? What's good? What's good? What's good? This is a very, very serious broadcast. Uh, you are about to witness a very powerful alliance between I, myself, and the brother that's about to pop up in a few minutes now. This is the groundwork that it's going to take to start reestablishing ourselves independently. And we got to start from the ground up. And one thing I do know for sure, as I'm still learning more and more about what the God brother brings to the table, is that he definitely has men on the front line and boots to the ground, providing us with exceptional military backup. Gomez was good. Michael, what's up? What's up? Gratitude. So while we waiting on bro to pop in, give everybody time to come in, chime in. Facebook, YouTube. We're finna go ahead and get with it. Today's topic of discussion is the highlight of the world right now, which is understanding our human rights and knowing how to exercise our human rights. Terry Williams, what's up? Eddie, what's up? One second. Peace. Peace. How you doing, brother? Yep, everything good. I'm giving everybody, while he's getting everything set up on his end, everybody's popping in right now, getting situated.
Okay, great, great. So just a basic overview of what's expected is an introduction to reparations via self-determination movement. And Ramzu, he's our point man, putting everybody on point, making sure that we understand our rights and duties as men, humans, to make sure that we are in a position to take care of ourselves and do for ourselves and to repair ourselves. So
Absolutely.
that's basically the basis of it.
Absolutely.
So I'm trusting that you're the professional that you are, and I know he's the professional he is, and this is going to go well.
It's gonna go great.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most definitely. Okay, so I'm about to go on YouTube and log on and watch.
All right, sound good.
Okay, great, great. I'm logging in now. The link, you didn't send me the link, Razor, for the cast.
Yeah, the same link, because you just logged in. You had logged in.
Okay.
Yeah, the same link. Send that one to him.
Okay, cool. All right, that's what I sent to him.
Yep.
So this is not going to be on YouTube right now?
We're live on YouTube and Facebook simultaneously with that link.
Okay, cool. That's what I was. All right. So okay, so I guess I'll be talking inside the web browser, online internet.
Right.
Oh, okay. All right, yeah. I'm trying to get all right now. Then I'll be on in a minute.
Okay. Let me know if you have any. Let me know if you have any issues.
All right, yes, sir.
All right, peace. All right, as you can see, they getting everything ready, prepared. Actually, while they doing that, I want to see if I can pull something up real quick so you guys can see bro in action. See if I can play this clip I just seen today, actually. Peace, peace, shalom, shalom. Chris Gray, what's up? Stefan, we'll get into that shortly. What's goody, Derek Jones? Trying to get this link for y'all. Come on, internet, don't fail me now. Okay, I think I got it. Alright guys, I'm finna flip over my screen. Hopefully it allows me to do so. Hopefully I don't need to reset my browser. That's a torch. Alright. Okay. See if y'all got this.
We're gonna control the city. It's ours. It's a man named Ramzu. Yunus claims he's taking over the city. He's taking over this. We're gonna control the city. It's ours. It's a man named Ramzu. Yunus claims he's taking over the city. He's taking over the city. He's taking over the city. For hours this morning, police were prepping for this arrival. K9 swept the building. A helicopter kept eyes in the sky, while a SWAT team and bomb squad were assembled inside. Yes, we are taking over the city. All cities that we live in, black people, we have a right of self-determination. Let's invoke that right, stand up, and take independent political control of our cities, or else continue to suffer and die.
Most of the transmission that's actually happening in many countries now is happening in the household, at family level. In some sense, transmission has been taken off the streets and pushed back into family units. Now we need to go and look in families to find those people who may be sick and remove them and isolate them in a safe.
Deriving their just powers, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government.
All right, so that's a sneak peek at Brother Ramzu. That's a sneak peek right there. So like I said, man, we got God brothers on the ground floor putting in that work. So like I said, it's all about the turn up. So we're about to turn this up a notch even more. And we finna start rebuilding this empire. One section, one division at a time. Hell yeah, and don't forget to hit that like button. Let them know, John. Make sure y'all share this. Everybody share this video. Make sure everybody share this video. Don't just watch it, share it. All right, brother popping in right now. What's going on, Dallas? Dallas, Texas in the house. Make sure y'all like this video. Share this video. We finna turn this shit up, man. Finna turn this shit up. Peace, peace.
Power.
Peace, peace.
Power.
How you feeling, bro? Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me? Mic check, mic check. Can you hear me?
I can't hear anything.
Yep, I hear
Can you
you.
hear me, brother?
Loud and clear. I hear you. Mic check, mic check. Everybody share this video while we iron out these technical difficulties. Mic check, mic check. Everybody share this video. Everybody share this video. About to get it started.
No, I can't hear. I can't hear anything.
Mic check, mic check, mic check. Can everybody in the chat, can you guys hear me? Let me make sure I'm good. Everybody in the chat, let me know if y'all can hear me. Mic check, mic check. Yeah, my mic is good. Yeah. Okay, yeah. It said I'm good. Mic check, mic check.
Peace, brother.
I can hear you loud and clear on there. I can hear both you guys. I'm watching from YouTube.
Oh, you can't hear. But I can't hear anything. Maybe I should try my mobile phone. I don't know. I'm on the laptop. My mic's supposed to be accessible. Well, yeah, my mic is so you can hear my mic, but I can't hear anything.
Yeah, he can hear you. He's responding to you, but you can't hear him. But we can hear both of you guys.
Okay, he said maybe in my settings. I was trying to find out where I find the settings at. Hold on, I'm sorry, brothers and sisters and everybody else.
Take your time.
Okay, my audio, default speakers. Okay, hold on. Okay.
Mic check, mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check, mic check.
Okay, I think I can hear now.
Mic check, mic check. You there? You hear me?
Yes, I can hear now.
Now let's get it. How you
Yes,
doing,
sir.
bro? So everybody's coming in the building now. Everybody's alive and waiting. Everybody share this video on your social media. Let's get this word out. Church is now in session. Brother Ramzu, how you feeling, man?
I'm fantastic, my brother. Fantastic. How can I share it as well?
It should be. It's live. Well, I'm live on my YouTube and live on my Facebook, so anybody can share either of the two on either of my pages.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me see. Hope if it start messing up my sound here, I'll cut it off. Okay. What is your page? It's live on your Facebook page?
Yep.
What's your Facebook page, brother?
Shit. Hold on, let me copy this for you. Put it in the chat. Okay, I just put the my Facebook name in your chat.
Okay, I see it.
Divine Wealth Principles, what's good? Welcome. Devin West. Purity Prima says, how do we correct our status now? And thank you. We're going to get into all that. Take your time, bro. We still got people coming in.
Okay. Okay, I got it started, so I don't know. Am I still coming clear?
How do we correct our status now?
Oh, let me cut this down. I'm still coming in clear?
Yep, you're perfect.
Okay, great.
Yo, April, what's up? Peace, welcome. Grand Rising, Grand Rising. All right, so yeah, we can get started whenever you're ready, bro.
All right, I'm ready.
All right, let's get it. So where you want to start at? What first off, I mean, me and you just now meeting. You know, I've seen your work from the, from long distance, and I immediately appreciated it, and immediately respected it. So when I got the message from another third party to, to reach out, I felt that it was my personal duty, based on what my objective is. So that's what I did. So now that we're here, explain to the people who you are, what's your position, and what's your duty out here in the playing field.
Yes, sir. My duty is as a servant. Serve my community as well as I'm serving myself and I'm serving my community because we're all connected. But myself, I always say I'm a nobody trying to tell everybody after that gospel song. But I came, I'm just basically new on the scene in a way, because after I did a bid in prison as a youngster, same old Malcolm X story, you go to prison, get enlightened, and then come out, fighting, so to speak, fighting the so-called power. But I went in as a teenager, then came out at about 21 years old, and did what everybody else that's conscious in prison get out to do and start joining organizations, trying to get active, and I was here, there, at the mosque, at this organization. I saw everything as one. Everybody needed to be united. So my foundation, I'm a Muslim, under the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So, I went to the mosque, but I also engaged with other organizations, whether it been the Shrine of the Black Madonna, the New Black Panther Party, and Cobra, and all the other organizations. As soon as I got out of prison, I was 21 years old at the time, a youngster, full of energy. But quickly, I'm from the streets as well. I came from the streets. So, I was all so-called about that life. I'm ready to fight. So if ain't nobody fighting but just talking, then I decided I'm out of here. But where do I go? I always wanted to go to Africa, and somebody pointed me out to Zimbabwe. And initially I said, why Zimbabwe? But then months later, that's when Robert Mugabe began the land reclamation program in Zimbabwe, where they was taking property away from white people and giving it back to the indigenous people of Zimbabwe. So I said, I'm going there. At least they doing something. They're fighting instead of talking. So I just moved to Zimbabwe. I started going back and forth, spending the majority of the time in Zimbabwe, beginning in 2000. By 2005, I moved to Zimbabwe. And, just did whatever I could to help them out. They was going through their revolution, what they called the third Chimaringa, the third revolution, which was after winning independence, taking the land back, which was a promise given to the people for the revolution in the first place. That was their motivation. They were going to get their land back and be prosperous. But it didn't happen for a while, but then it finally happened. So I wanted to get engaged in action. I'm an action person. So I moved to Zimbabwe, did what I could, started getting investments for the farm program. I acquired a farm myself. I acquired 36,000 acres, actually under the Exodus program. I wanted to bring Black people back to Africa, and that was a great start in Zimbabwe on 36,000 acres, which I did take a number of people back, or they came on their own at my invitation. I began, first with farming, then fuel importation. I started bringing in fuel truckloads of them tanker trucks you see pumping, unloading at gas stations. Started bringing them into the country because there was a fuel shortage, because once Mugabe then pulled that move, as they do with other countries, they'll punish the countries economically, like they're
Kind of broke up a little bit, bro. You breaking up. Mic check, mic check. All right, give bro a few minutes to pop back in. Okay, he lost connection. Peace, peace, peace. Yeah, he just popped. He just lost connection. We're gonna give him a second to come back in. All right, like Sam King said. I think he's talking about you too. He said, "Hit that like, hit that like." Yo, we ain't got started yet. We're just warming up, breaking the ice, making our first introductions. Peace, peace, bro. Gotcha. Mic check, mic check.
I think I'm back in. Can I be heard?
Yep, I can hear you loud and clear. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Yo, can you hear me?
Let me work with the settings here.
Take your time, bro. Take your time. Peace, peace, peace. What's up, sis?
Oh, because I got it from the store, the big store instead of the gas station. They had them like $2 for $3 on sale. Okay. You want no ice in it? All
right. Peace, peace, peace. Thanks for y'all patience, man. We'll be right back after these messages. Let me replay that clip, man. That clip was nice. Hold on, I think he's back. Yo, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, cool. We're back. So you say you went over to Africa. You acquired over 36,000 acres of land, and then you cut out.
Okay. Yes. You can still hear me?
Yep, perfect.
Okay. Yeah. So I acquired 36,000 acres of land. Had what I call the Exodus program, which I did come. I also started the fuel business where I was importing fuel. I was leasing several gas stations mainly while I was engaged, was to help supply the farmers who just acquired their land. And then sooner or later, a few years or several years later, that ended up with me working with the president himself, Robert Mugabe, and trying to work deals and bringing fuel for the whole country instead of just, a city or small cities or farmers, bringing it in for the whole country. So that's those who follow me on Facebook and see my pictures and things. That's why you will see me with people like Hugo Chavez and others, because I was able to meet them while I was working for President Mugabe's country, not just for my personal business. And after engaging in that and going through certain things in Zimbabwe, I decided, or some people say Allah decided, the universe decided. But anyway, I was driven to come to America to launch the Exodus, the Black Independence Program. Those leaders in various countries that show that oppressed people should struggle for inside of their country or under their oppression from a colonial power or any other power is the right of self-determination. They must struggle to take independent political control where they live, which is the #1 right in international human rights law. So I came back to America and launched the Black Independence Program, and that's where we are today.
Okay. Are you on the are you on your Wi-Fi connection or your mobile data? Because you're cutting in and out. I can hear you, but you're still cutting in and out.
On my data connection.
I want to make sure.
Not getting enough bars on here. Now the bars is going up a little bit. Maybe if I decide I'll lose my power here.
Okay.
Let me see. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
That may be the best I can get while connected to this power source.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, it seems like it's better now.
Not even about myself. You are hearing me.
It's kind of it's still a little clippy, but we can keep on. If worst case scenario, I'll have you call my phone and I'll just put you on speaker next to the mic, to my mic.
Okay. And it means somebody's going to get another phone as well. It may work better
Okay.
here.
So, so the whole what got you started with the whole human rights movement, as far as like what was like your first big assignment?
Well, black independence. You know, that's the human rights. That's the chief human rights. Chief human right. Number one human right is the right of self-determination, the right for all peoples to be independent, to govern themselves independently. That's the first thing I saw, which was the main reason I came back to America, because I wasn't going to come back to this country, period. But I knew that I had to launch the struggle over here, so I immediately came to Detroit. I'm not from Detroit, I'm from North Carolina, but I was just seeking out what's the best place to launch this at, and Detroit just came up so many times and came to me in meditation, so I just decided to come out of the blue, just come to Detroit and launch Black Independence. So I immediately came to Detroit, started rallying the people to take the city independent. And some of you may have seen the videos there of people in action here in Detroit, or people rallied, massing themselves together to vote. And so we pulled it off. It went pretty well. We didn't pull it off independence, but we pulled off our first vote, which was interrupted by, and what can I say, sabotaged a little bit by the federal government. They took over the case from the Highland Park city government and the Detroit city government. And to those of you who may have seen the video, they had out there, snipers on roof, bomb squads, and all kinds of things that was uncalled for because we were unarmed. But they saw it fit to put that scare out there and become equipped like that as if we was coming armed. But they knew the people were going to show up because they had every bit of, what can I say, not warning, but they could tell that the event had went viral, the message had went viral. So the people that if they just simply stand up, instead of being homeless, they can have the homes of Detroit. They take over the city. We can leverage the city and give everybody monetary grants if we take over. So everybody was standing up and coming out to take over the city of Detroit, and they knew that. So they came out in full force. They even blockaded downtown to come in, because before the event even began, we didn't know they had the whole downtown blockaded because we got there early. And they still ran the show, so to speak, and they even came out in mass and started threatening people and running away as well. So we just regrouped and came back stronger than ever, which we are doing now. But besides being just in Detroit, we are everywhere now. Black people as well.
Okay. Did from your perspective and your experience, what do you think is the root cause of the reason why the indigenous people are in the position they're in now?
The root cause is another people is the root cause, and other people that are very devilish and diabolical, and us being as innocent, so to speak, and naive. Sometimes innocence equals naivety, so we're naive, and they was able to pull different tricks on us and get us out of our power. So now we find ourselves out of power in a certain condition, and we continue to be in that condition until we pull the right move, the move that everybody else has made. We've been tricked into doing taking actions that will not get us any results. The United States seems to have mastered the art of controlled opposition, where they can boost up organizations, build organizations, and these organizations seem like opposition, but really they never would do anything to threaten the government for us being replaced or taken down, abolished, altered, anything to threaten the status quo. So these people remain in power, these organizations remain in place, and they usurp the energy of the masses while never taking any concrete action to do what's necessary to get the people freedom, justice, and equality. So we remain because of just simple non-action or non-correct action.
Now, so do you think Do you think that the root cause is the same cause today? Like we have the same issue that hasn't been addressed?
Yeah, it's the same issue. You know, some people may say the root cause is ignorance, lack of knowledge, but we have enough people with knowledge that definitely cannot be the excuse anymore. It's just lack of proper action, because enlightened minds never have won a revolution. They may have put out principles and guided the revolution, but it was always the masses who didn't have a knowledge of self, who were not enlightened. So many of us, we always say, until we all wake up, we're going to always be in this condition. And no, it's not until we all wake up. It's until we all perform the correct action. Many others in every other country, the mass of the people did not have any enlightenment upon principles of nationalism, socialism, or any other of these isms that drove the enlightened founders of these movements to move. They were just concerned about their well-being, lack of bread, lack of money, lack of jobs, lack of land, lack of homes, murder and oppression, suppression by the government or the powers that be. They were concerned with that, and then it drove them to act. Dissatisfaction. I like the quote, he said, dissatisfaction creates change. Dissatisfaction. Once the people are dissatisfied enough, they will stand up. It's not enlightenment, it's dissatisfaction.
Indeed. Now I know personally. So how does a person take part into exercising their human rights as far as on the ground level, as far as in a military style? How do we form our own military, for one?
So everybody has a right to, of course, life and liberty, and you have a right to rebel. That's even found in, it's the founding principle of America. You find it in most of our state constitutions even, and definitely on the international level, we have a right to rebel as a recourse, a last recourse, though. Armed rebellion is a last recourse. But even nonviolent, that's a rebellion as well. Nonviolent actions are classified as a rebellion, as a revolution, if they deal with overturning the government. It's a simple, a fact of just gathering the people, amassing the people. Power is to the people, as our revolutionary organizations have always been saying, at least since the 50s or 60s, all power is to the people. So the people have to amass themselves and make that decision. Say, look, no more, like they just did in Puerto Rico last year. They just did in Sudan last year. They did in Algeria last year. Look, no more. And they overturned those governments without war. That was a revolution. It was a non-violent revolution, but it was still a revolution. Here in America, same thing. The people just have to rise up. But we know how some of these forces act. So that's why I have on this uniform that you see on today. We are not our officers. We do need a security force to secure our people's independence, to secure our people's rights. The number one right, the right of self-determination, the right to simply choose to govern ourselves where we live. So we're calling on our people to amass themselves, get suited and booted, and stand up and be the protection for those who want to stand up, but they feel insecure, they feel unsafe, and they fear what may happen, any consequences that may happen. So we're amassing ourselves also as human rights policy officers. We're saying we're replacing the police and ultimately replacing the military, which we have a right to do. Even most of our state constitutions say that we regulate the police as well as the government. So we can get rid of them at any times and be our own militia, our own police force. Just like a lot of white people are doing, and they just said on some of the whites were saying at Lansing, I'm in Michigan right now, I'm Detroit. In Lansing, Michigan, many of you saw on the news last week how thousands of white people went to the Capitol, well armed. They were on the Capitol building steps, trying to get rid of, saying they were going to get rid of the governor. And they told each other to join their local militias. They have a right to form militias and to be the security against any oppression. Likewise, black people, we have more right than anyone in this country to form a militia, because we are the most victimized by the state-sanctioned militia called the police force. So we're calling on everybody and people who are already armed and organized to step and say, look, we're taking over from here, which we have a right to do. This is our emergency crisis, which we've been in for 400 years. So we always can stand up and declare our emergency and do what we need to do lawfully.
Okay, so that's the real key word right there, lawfully. Now, when when I meet more God brothers and God sisters, in general, and then coming to front and center with you, my first mind is to, for one, understand your perspective, how you see things, based on your reality, since you out there, you're knocking on doors, and you fighting that fight, uh, in the battle, in the physical battlefield, which is mandatory and needed. So my objective and my position would be, how do I how do I help the situation? How do I increase the potential of success? And the first thing I think of is lawfully and legally. And like, even though of course we need to establish our militias, our military, we need to govern ourselves. We need to have our own law enforcement. But how do we do that in the way? How do we build? How do we navigate the people to the Underground Railroad, so we can reestablish, reorganize, re-govern, re-educate, and retrain ourselves, and then re-announce ourselves to the world? Because I feel like we can't make too much noise while we're under construction, because that'll pretty much blow our cover too early. That's, I think, the reason why many before us have failed, because they didn't play the game in strategic fashion. How do we? Well, we need. I believe personally we have to start giving birth to individuals to represent certain positions at certain offices, like the royal families do, like, or in general, where they'll give birth to a son that's going to be a lawyer, a daughter that's going to be a secretary of state, this or that. You see what I mean? This stuff is purposely done. So another thing with
Hmm.
communication, the beauty about it being, the 21st century, is that we have unlimited access to any and all information. So that's a good thing and a bad thing, because now we have a shitload of good information, a shitload of bad. Some of it misinformation, and some of it just is misunderstood in general, because a lack of experience in relation to the information. So the people are not able to dissect and ingest the information correctly, to a point where they can actually apply it. So it just becomes, we get caught into these, and I'm going off what I see from the people that do have the voices and influence of large groups of people. How they, I see a point where the growth is stunted, because they get caught in a realm, and that realm I consider is a form of a form of categorization, a form of a separation, because they get caught in one block, like the conscious community. I feel like, we got some intelligent guys there, but it's like they get caught up into the debates. The only purpose of me and you sitting here at the table is to come to a common ground, to have an understanding of each other's different opinions, perspectives, and understanding. So now we can collectively come to a new understanding based on two perspectives. So now we can see the whole field,
Hmm.
instead of half the field. You see the field from the 50-yard line to that line, and I see the field on the opposite. So now we in the huddle. So now my objective is to see, all right, what's going on your end. I'm gonna let you know what's going on my end. All right, what do we need to do to make across the field, and then we go back on the field, and know how to pass the ball accordingly.
Yes, sir. I mean, myself, I think it's impossible really to do this quietly.
Hmm.
If you do it quietly, then you won't get the masses of people that are needed. And then they can even snuff you out quietly while no one knows, just kill you. And nobody knows why they killed you. And they find out, oh, you were secretly trying to do something. So we have to get to the masses, and the only way to get to the masses is to do it openly. And if enough people are catching on, enough people are signing in, signing up, and joining on, then who cares about well, we care, but the leader dying doesn't make a difference, or even being killed, because so many people are hip to what's going on. They understand what's going on. They know that it's not a one leader or person type thing. It involves the
I
masses.
hear you. I
So
hear you.
if one is sacrificed for the greater good, then so be it.
It's only one thing. History has shown us that there is a thin line between that. We could have a million people. First of all, the majority of people in general are followers. You know what I'm saying? Meaning like everybody
Mm-hmm.
everybody bump their gums as long as you in front of them taking the bullets. But once your body,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying, we're gonna see a lot of people retreat.
Yeah.
That's just the reality. Even though a lot of people don't want to hear that type of stuff, that's just the reality. So we got to face the reality of the matter first. So in my mind, it's like, okay, if I look at you, it's like, okay, bro is a hot commodity. You know what I'm saying? So our objective is to be like, okay, how do we put somebody in your shoes so that you can more not fall back but cover other ground, because we got to shield you. You see what I mean? You always got to shield the leaders, because you're conquering higher ground and higher feet. You know what I'm saying? We can't afford to hope that somebody picks up the torch and holds it like you did. You know what I'm saying? Like we can only guarantee that if we groom people up to that point. Like I have to groom my son up to that. You got to groom your son up to that. That's how we guarantee it within the family. And hopefully our peers, will follow suit and and hold that torch as well. But what I'm saying is that the oppressors and the people that's controlling this company has done that. That this is the reason why they have such a sophisticated system that has us behind over 100 years, because they thought about this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Now just like when you say make noise, what I'm saying is that our actual plan needs to be done in silence. But when we making noise, it's like we making noise to let everybody know we throwing up the red flag, like the white flag, letting everybody know we here, but without at the same time letting them know what our plan is. Letting Master know what our plan is. Hold on. Okay. Both our cameras cut out. So almost like we strategically making noise in a way that attracts the attention of the people that we need to attract. So, but once we attract their attention, the first objective is to bring them in, and to get them re-educated, retrained, and reissued back out into the world, knowing how to operate properly in commerce, in public, in relation to any contractual agreements in relation to United States Corporation. But it's so many different areas of the playing field that we got to get our hands on. We got to get our hands on education. We got to get our hands on travel. We got to get our hands on military. We got to get our hands on. Those are like the three main things. You know what I'm saying? Outside of our own individual understanding of true religion, outside of spirituality, inside of spirituality.
Yeah, but definitely. But it depends on, like everybody has their own methodology. Our method we're saying here is, okay, we already have a plan. The same plan that everybody else used, same plan that everybody in the whole world used to get free. I'm coming from a position of being around people that actually got free. In America, we used to people struggling to get free and getting popular and famous as spokesmen for a oppressed people. I've been living for most of my adulthood amongst people who actually fought and got free. So I don't think about the enemy killing somebody and the movement being over. All I see is victory. I've been around Robert Mugabe, victory. I've been around Nelson Mandela, victory. I've been around Castro, victory. I've been around Hugo Chavez, victory. I've been around Kenneth Kaunda in Zambia, victory. I've been around people who represented victory. So that's what I see. So I don't see any defeat because we're letting people know what's going on and trying to maneuver in certain other kind of ways that I see various groups maneuvering in. We just got to simply rally the people, stand up, and take over. I know other people have different methods, filing paperwork, trying to get themselves released from the United States Corporation. And if that's their method of getting free and that's how they see getting free, then so be it for them. But our method is just a simple, applicable method that has been applied by everybody, including the founding fathers of America. So we waste no time in other matters when people are dying today, people are suffering today, people are sitting in prison today, people are being murdered by police today, people are going through a lot of things, a lot of afflictions today. So we will assert our effort openly, rally the people, and simply just take over in an expedient way. Now, that's our message. That's our method. That's what we're calling on the people to do. To those who do want to join, you can simply log into www.humanrightspolicy.us, www.humanrightspolicy.us to find out what we're doing and to join on in the stance as we take back or take independent political control. To those who are indigenous citizens, take back your land. To those who may be Afro descendants, at least take back your sovereignty. Our site also is www.reparationsbank.com. www.reparationsbank.com. That's our reparations portal, how we're going to dispense reparations and transact with those reparations.
I'm glad you kept it going, bro. I lost power. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
So you went off for a second there.
Okay. So I cut off where you said where some people that actually got free. So
yeah, I'm coming from that perspective. So it's like you said earlier, it depends on the perspective you come from, what angle you coming from, what you've been around. Like if I was just over here, I would see only the deaths, only the assassinations of our tried to get us free or who advocated for us. I would see only that. But most of my adulthood was spent around those who actually fought and got free. Some of them had to engage in blood battles. Some of them didn't. Many of them didn't. It was just the overwhelming masses of the people that simply flooded out and drowned Pharaoh. Like we see in the Bible, Pharaoh was killed by water. In the scriptures and in Revelations, water represents the people because it's the people that these governments stand upon. But once these people stop parting the sea and consenting and just flood out these Pharaoh in Hebrew means an oppressor or tyrant, flood out these tyrants and these oppressive systems, then we win. We don't need a military, even though that should be good to have. But as we've seen evidenced in the past 9 years, all nations have failed without the military. And even the military of these nations joined on with the people. As we saw here in Michigan and Lansing, it was the police and sheriff, a lot of the sheriff deputies and sheriffs themselves, officers, that joined in with those white folk in rebellion against the governor, against the usurpation of rights. So we don't think, and my mother's in the military, my sister's in the military, so I definitely don't think the military will come against us. And I have family in the police as well. So, and they are of the people. So it's the people versus the system. It's not in the system, and the elite government only consists of a few individuals who maintain power by consent.
Okay. Now for the record, so everybody knows or whatever, when I'm communicating to get an understanding of perspective, and I do that by playing devil's advocate. I ask the question that most people won't ask. They'll just be like, they'll just sit there and just shake.
I
you know what I'm saying?
I understand fully.
I'm gonna ask. I gotta go back to when you said people that got free. So now I want to ask you. I want to know your experience with that. I need to feel that. Like, so what happened with that? Like, what's that short story? Like sum it up for me. Like what happened? Like I really, because that's gonna provide everybody with like a whole nother perspective. Like you said, a different perspective of freedom based on you leaving this joint and coming back. You know what I'm saying? So please enlighten us on that.
I mean, it's a matter of like I always quote Martin Luther King, but I got my own interpretation of what he said. He said, "I've been to the mountaintop," and we would talk about Honorable Elijah Muhammad, that mountain symbolized the government. So I said, I've been to the top of government. I sat with presidents of various nations and those presidents who liberated those nations. And I also sat with their comrades who may be ministers, prime ministers, and so forth of these different nations. and was able to soak in their experience and get consultation from them, because they always was offering consultation about our struggle here in America, even though I was not going to come back to America, period. I don't know why they was telling me that, but now I see why I was actually being told that, and was able to soak those things in. So I was amongst them and hearing their stories of liberation, how they got liberation, what's the stance that they eventually took, how they went through the same thing that we went through, how they started the boycotting, they started the protesting, and then eventually they realized that that's not going to get anywhere, especially within another man's system. They had to totally abolish the system through direct confrontation. That was one of the slogans in Zimbabwe: liberation through direct confrontation. You have to confront the system and destroy it, or and replace it, which we have the right to do. So we're calling on the people here in America. Well, anyway, I don't want to go too far, but that's my experience with those liberators, those who have liberated themselves and their countries and now have independence. They have a whole another perspective on what to do, because they already did what we are doing or have been doing in America until now.
Okay. Understood. So, how do you suppose that we gather all these elements that we need to liberate ourselves from, from the current conditions? Like, because it's like it's hard for me to really see, the reality of reaching the mountaintop that we're trying to reach without covering those bases of education, of re-education, and just the people in general education, just the people understanding, for one, what world we're living in relation to the America, the country, and the United States, the corporation, and how to actually, navigate, like what tools and resources, and then how do we actually obtain tools and resources, like and power economically, so I don't see, how do we skip? We're not saying we skip in business. We still got to understand business, how to operate businesses, how to manage businesses, how to build businesses, understand credit, understand contracts. I don't think this stuff can be denied if we expect to survive.
But all of those things operating another man's system will be strengthening the economy that you're trying to escape. So how can you strengthen the hand that you're trying to get away from? So there's no need for that. We have our own resources. The cities are our resources. We have cities worth $15 trillion or more. The areas that we live in these cities, $15 trillion under our feet all around us. They have electrical grids, buildings, all kinds of resources, water, ports, airplanes, everything that we already have at our disposal if we just take control. So there's no need to go out and try to do some business, because we can never work ourselves out of this system, within this system, if you get where I'm coming from. The glove is like the skin on a body. I don't care how big and strong we get, that skin always grows. The skin is that government, that system that is over us. So until we get outside of the body, period, or do away with the body and grow outside of it, then that skin will always dominate us, because it gets bigger with us. So we're saying we're going to operate and just totally get outside of this body, outside of this skin, outside of the box, not trying to navigate within it. We mentioned controlled opposition earlier. One of the methods of controlled opposition, besides being groups and organizations that act like they're against the government, but really they would just bring in people that are really strong and militant and then suppress them and pacify them and never do anything against the government. But also different things like pushing an economic empowerment agenda. Because I was also approached by the federal officials, and they told me, why don't I focus on economic empowerment? Because they know economic empowerment will not get us free. It will only continue to build the system that we're trying to get from up under. So we have to have total liberation and not worry about we don't have resources. We have plenty of resources. We have ourselves, number one, human capital. Then we have all these assets, all this infrastructure around us, these cities. We're not saying we're going to go off into the jungle or to the desert somewhere and have to build from there. Yes, we would need a lot of resources then. We don't need many resources now because we have the resources already available.
Here in inside the United States. You saying we have that here?
Yes, we have the resources right here. We have the resources right here in the United States. I have buildings around me, houses around you, have buildings around you, houses around you, electrical grids, so forth and so on, ports, water sources. We have all those things right here.
So
when other countries when they take on, like I lived in Zimbabwe and other countries as well, they didn't worry about, oh, we don't have the resources, because they know they were taking over a government that had resources. We're talking about actually taking over our cities. These cities have resources already. We don't have to bring in a fresh resource and build a whole city. They're already there. We're just taking over the controlling mechanism, which is government of these cities.
Okay. That's deep.
So that does away with the need to try to amass resources. Like, we'll spend a lifetime trying to gather the little pennies that we have, which we don't have many pennies. Look, let's pool resources, economic plan, this, that, trying to save a bunch of resources. No, we don't need to save anything. We don't need to go off and buy 20 million acres of land. We live on 20 million acres of land or more in our cities. Take control over where you live. You have a right to simply stand up where you live and say, look, we're going to govern this ourselves. And that's what this movement is all about, what we are proposing. Look, people, look, we have a right to govern where we live. Just like you probably know, I don't know how old you are or whatever, but during your lifetime, and I don't know where you live, but during your lifetime, there have been a number of cities created in America, where people just say, look, we're on this certain amount part of territory of another city, so we're going to just take this part for ourselves. And they created a city. A city itself is a sovereign institution. So we can do the same thing now, whether it be the whole city, if we're majority black, whether it be the east side, west side, north side, south side. We have a right to simply just take it over. That, not in a seditious manner, a lawful manner. Just stand up, and you can stand up with guns. That's still lawful as well if you want to protect yourself from anybody trying to stop you from making a lawful move. You are welcome to also stand up with guns, but we're just saying do it peacefully unless our peace is interfered with.
Okay. Like I say, man, I can't. It be that voice in the back of my head, is that devil's advocate. Is like, because I'm always trying to think as the oppressor as well, because I'm thinking, like, if I was them, would I let this happen? Like, it's in that fashion, I'd be like, hell no. If I was them,
no, heck no.
Right. So that's what I'm like, okay, if I was listening, if I was the head of the United States over there, whatever that we're going against and fighting for our reparations for, it's like, all right, I'm like, okay, we have the military. It's like we can't win against them military style. Like, I don't understand how we take it over. You know,
they don't have the military. We have the military.
So you got to put you go maybe.
Their black men are even the ones flying those drones. They're black men who are soldiers with boots on the ground in other countries. People and got on the ground. My sister, my mother, for 2 soldiers, and my cousins and everybody else. So we are the soldiers. We are the police. And you already know what we got in our closets at our homes inside these hoods. We got brothers got more guns than what the house is worth, especially if they stand in the projects. So we are well equipped, but we don't even worry about that, because the people pulling the strings are only a few. They wouldn't spend so much money to stop us from uniting if they could just simply let us unite and they just kill us all. No, they know they can't stop us all together. They can stop 1 or 2. That's why they spend billions of dollars to keep us disunited. They spend billions of dollars, not per year, per month, to keep us disunited, so that we can't do what we're proposing.
Now,
so they're afraid of us coming together, because they know what it can do. If they were not afraid of our unity, they would just do as we think and just destroy us once we unite. But they can't destroy us.
Yeah, they can't destroy us. All they can do is try to suppress and manage and control. You know, I just keep having flashbacks of history. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like, you know, looking back and just looking, it's like a lot of times we repeat the same thing the same way. It's just like the guys that, when we had a Million Man March, that the whole concept of marching
Yeah.
is symbolic.
But listen,
I don't know. It's like we was taught how to
Mhm.
ourselves. It's like masters, we're marching, but low key we're not even understanding that not we, but I'm saying it's like when I see that, it's like it's something signals in the brain, in the so-called Negro brain, that says like this is how we stand up and fight, because that's how we was taught that we were allowed to stand up and fight. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, we march, we have a nice day, everybody out there, Black
Mhm.
Power, blah blah blah. That everybody gonna take their ass right back
Mhm.
to work on Monday. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, if we want to shut it down, it's easy.
Yes, sir.
We got
Yes, sir.
we got to tap the pockets. How about everybody wake up one day and say we ain't going to work? Let's try it that way. You know what I'm saying? That'll hurt them.
Mm. Yeah.
But
No, yeah, but I'm not talking about marching myself. I don't believe in marching. You know, but like I said, we're talking about simply taking over, period, rising up in massive number. So we can't point to a point in history where we failed at that here in America, because we never tried it here. We tried everything else. Just like the founding fathers of America, they couldn't point in a time where they stood up before they stood up in America. So they also decided, look, the boycotting is no good, the march is no good. They decided the same thing. They decided the same thing as Zimbabwe and other nations. The marching is no good. Let's just simply stand up. And if they want to go to war, then we have to fight it out. But we have to at least make the stance, because their law itself says, look, if you don't like the way you're being governed, stand up and take over. We give you that right to do that. So if you don't even try it, then, hey, you can't blame us. That's what they could say to us, because we never even tried. That's like me saying, look, here, come into this class, this torture class. I'm in here torturing you. But if you want to get out of the class, you can always sign yourself out. But you never even try to sign yourself out, because he tortured me so much, for surely he won't let me out of the class. But I just told you right here in the book, right here, look, sign this slip right here, you can get out of the class. So if you never tried to get out of the class, then you just chose to remain in an elective that's torturing you. So at least we must try to follow what the law says, as many others have. They said, in every country, they said, look, we have a right of self-determination. We at least have to stand up for that, because that is the only way we are going to get some justice. And they stood up for that. So we have to stand up for that, regardless of the monsters that we see that's going to come get us and drop bombs and do so much and so much to us. We don't worry about that. We just see freedom and see what we have a right to do. Dr. King didn't worry about the dogs or whatever. He saw we had a right. Whether we agree with those rights or not, of integration, whatever, he knew he had a right to integrate. He had a right for equal education, voting rights. So he stood up for that, regardless of what they was going to do to him for trying to stand up for it. And eventually, Martin Luther King actually had victories. He didn't win in life as far as having a long life, but he had victories. And they couldn't stop what he was doing, because they could not stop the people. And they stopped him because they know if he got enough people, they couldn't stop him. So as long as we get enough people, then it's a wrap for them. That's why that's why they spend so much resources trying to keep us from uniting, trying to keep us from taking united action. Never mind a march. They can let you march all day, but uniting to take political power, that's what they fear the most. That's the unity that they fear. So we just got to unite and make it happen. You know, but I know devil's advocate is always in the back of our head, because we see history in America. But we're talking about something that's never been done in America besides by white people in America. White, and so forth. See, they do that. We have been trained and put in our place to not even resist. Even right here in Detroit, we had one of our greatest minds, young minds here in Detroit, posted on Facebook saying, look, the revolution is won. They done locked us in our house and given us free internet, free this, free that. The revolution is won. See, that's our mindset. That's a mindset of the people that need repair.
Okay. You know what? I would
Can you hear me, brother? I'm seeing things on.
When we have our private conversation, I'm gonna save some of my questions for you, because some things I just gotta know personally, and I don't think your answers need to be on social media, because I don't know what the answer is gonna be, but I don't know based on my thing because
Yeah, brother.
I don't want to assume because you like I said, you coming on a whole nother perspective, and you're very confident in it. So I want to know, I want to be as confident as you are in that area as well. You know what I'm saying? So I would have to know more of what's you're going off what you know that's available in that fight. You know what I'm saying? I don't see it because I'm not fighting that particular fight that way. You know, I'm in the paper war.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I got the guns in the closet, but I'm trying to kill them with paper cuts. You know, because I don't think I have enough guns to hold off the U.S. Army. You know what I'm saying? So if you telling me we got some shit, okay, let me know. You know, so I mean that's the only reason why I have a different.
No, what?
Huh?
Yeah, we're not talking about guns. Who carry the guns? At least probably a third of the military is black people. So who ultimately has the power? Who ultimately has the power? Who has the top infrastructure in America? We have the top terrain in America, the top infrastructure. Black power enough. We have enough manpower. It's the people that overpower. So they're going to send an army in and mow down 50 million black people. Why didn't they send an army and mow down 10 million black people or 20,000 black people during Martin Luther King's time? They're not going to mow down that many people. They can't mow down that many people, especially now when the police force is us. The military is us. So we don't worry about that. We just stand up and do what we need to do regardless. But the military is not going to do anything besides fold because they are of us as well.
So what do you think is going on in the background during this so-called pandemic? What you think they back there doing, and what you think is transpired?
No, I think they do what they always do. They're always planning against us, planning and plotting. But I don't really try to involve myself in that and trying to be a reactionary to that because our move in general will solve that. We just simply stand up and take control. We don't have to worry about any of their plans. So I don't worry about the plans that they have because we have plans. Either we work the plan that we have or we'll wait for a diabolical plan that they have. So we are already taking action. So I don't even try to meditate and assume what they're doing and try to react to it because our movement is already a reaction to that. Actually, it's an avoidance of that. It's an offensive move that we're taking, not a defensive move. We got to learn to stop being on the defensive and stop being reactionary.
True. Interesting. All right, you gonna I'm gonna be sleeping on a lot of different stuff tonight.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you, though. Great questions.
Appreciate it. Nah, the appreciation is mutual. You know, I'm just like I said, I take full advantage of brotherhood and stuff like that. I'm always I don't know nothing about nothing. I'm always learning. Once I know, I don't know nothing. So.
Oh, yes, sir. Likewise. Now, don't be questioning me like I know everything, but I just know certain stances, and I stand strong on those stances, so I'm going to defend those stances and articulate them in the best manner according to my capacity. So I stand strong on them, but other things, of course, I don't know. No, none of us know everything. I don't think we all would ever know everything, but we know enough, and that is enough. Knowing enough is enough. I know enough to get free.
Okay. Do you feel like it's a necessity to plan some sort of migration out of the United States into Africa, or you think we can reestablish and build here, or is that the plan to take over what's ours here? Because I know some of the guys or some of the guy brothers are venturing over towards Africa.
Yes, a lot of people want to go to Africa. Yeah, I want to go live elsewhere. I've been, around the world, and I like other places that I've been to better than I like this. So eventually, I want to move out, and people should have that choice to move elsewhere. But of course, we have to take care of business here because the United States controls the whole world. I ran to Zimbabwe thinking it was going to be free, but the United States controls Zimbabwe. The United States controls everywhere. So there's nowhere to escape. But eventually, once the United States or the white people of the United States, the white power imperialists, lose their power, then we're free to go anywhere and develop. But for now, I think especially those who are warriors to stay here and help the rise of black people, which automatically equals the fall of white imperialism.
What's a significant event that popped out that's a highlight of your experience that gave you the reality check that United States is also running things out the country?
Just being in Zimbabwe when I saw that the economy, which mainly is the world economy, it was controlled by them. They can put sanctions on people and starve out a country, make your money useless. I lost, plenty of money, investors' money, lost millions over there. Millions that wasn't even mine lost in Zimbabwe because we didn't actually control the economy. And that's part of when we say self-determination, it includes economic development. We don't control their economic development. No country does. All these countries that think they are sovereign, they are not sovereign. They're sovereign as far as political status of being independent. As far as controlling economic development, they're not sovereign because all these nations, none of them are autonomous. They need, or the majority of them, they need things that require U.S. currency, for instance. And the U.S. always controls anything that needs U.S. currency. So the United States has a controlling grip on the whole world. So if you get out of line, they can shut you down. You probably saw our news article where we got some deals with Iran and Venezuela. I was dealing with Iran. We can't even deal with them because they have been under economic seizure, which we call economic sanctions. They have hundreds of billions of dollars tied up in America's system because those transactions were done with American dollars, which has to come through America's system, mainly through New York. And they just freeze the money and take it and do whatever they want to with the money. And the whole world is like that. That's why we know when someone tries to come with something alternative to their currency, it's a wrap for them, like Gaddafi, for instance.
Now, I believe you already answered this question, but just in case, I don't want to assume. If like a place like Zimbabwe has such an abundance of natural resources, minerals, gold, silver, and all this other stuff, how are they not in any type of economical power?
Until you build yourself where everything can be made there and used there, and you're sufficient like that, then which they can do that. But most of the people have been educated to think they need things outside of themselves. So they will always be searching for fuel, which got to come from somewhere else. They don't have their own fuel, and other things, electronic devices that they think they need, which we have become dependent upon seemingly. So we're going to need outside resources to do that, unless people want to trade with the natural resources, which some of the countries are trying to do now, which we find like people like Russia and China are doing, trading amongst each other with resources and things. Hugo Chavez was implementing that. But Zimbabwe does not have an autonomous system, but it's mainly because of the thinking of the people. You have to have progressive thinkers as well as just revolutionary thinkers. So a lot of those thinkers in Zimbabwe, they are elder people, and some of them are just satisfied with what they got, because they already got a lot from those resources themselves. So the more you get, the more you lose touch with reality of the people who don't have. That's why it's possible for a rich man to make it into the kingdom of God, so to speak, because their concern is only really with the current system. They benefit from the current system. So they're not going to think outside of the box that currently benefits them. So that's the leadership in all these countries. They don't suffer like the masses, so they're not going to think of anything to benefit the masses, which is a proper economic system. So the thought is dead in all these countries amongst the leadership.
Gotcha. Have you been getting on your end personally any concerns from parents in relation to possible mandatory vaccinations when the kids go back to school and people go back to work?
Oh yes. I think that's definitely, even according to them, it's no longer a conspiracy theory. It's according to things they're saying. The government is saying, the World Health Organization and the federal government is saying they're going to require vaccination, not just from children, from people in general to interact with other people. You're going to require some kind of vaccination according to what they're saying.
Have you
Again, we counter that by taking control. If you don't want vaccinations, take control of your situation. So you have to be under a jurisdiction of others where they can come in and vaccinate you, or require you to, or at least require you to vaccinate just to take your children, put your children into their school system. So all of these things should give us incentive to take charge, to follow the law, so to speak, follow the law and take charge, or we will be victims of not the continued police brutality, not the continued gentrification, but now new enforced vaccination.
Since the human rights, policy officers are, of course, a section or a branch of the United Nations, right?
No. We're not a branch of the United Nations. This is just a United Nations mandated action because United Nations, which is all the nations, have agreed to human rights.
Right.
They have agreed to human rights. Whenever you see peacekeeping troops and stuff with those United Nations flags on or helmets on, they're not United Nations soldiers. They're their own soldiers from their own nation or organization, but they're utilizing the fact that the United Nations has mandated them to take certain actions if human rights are violated. So now, look, you can't say anything to me. This is mandated by all of you. So we will use that fact that, look, you can't stop us, and you all should support us because we're doing something that is mandated by the United Nations. And first of all, revolution is mandated by the United Nations. According to the United Nations, those who are oppressed by their own government, if they don't revolute or rebel against that system, then they are at fault. That's United Nations law. So now we are actually breaking United Nations law by not rebelling, by not trying to overthrow tyranny and replace this government over ourselves and become independent, become self-determining. So we are actually violating according to United Nations. So no, we're not a branch of the United Nations. No nation, no United Nations force, or that we think are United Nations force, are branches of them. They are their own militaries. They just use the fact that all the nations came together and agreed. So no one can argue against what we are doing because you all sanctioned what we're doing.
Gotcha. Okay, I'm glad I asked that question. But because we've adopted that Universal Declaration of Human Rights, which we all should, if things ever came to that, to a certain point of human rights violation, can we dial a number? Can we make a call and get some type of backup?
Yes, we can dial a number now and get backup. As long as we're standing up for those human rights and not for local statutes and so forth, we can get that backup. These nations already, the whole United Nations already wrote human rights abuse reports against United States. But somebody has to be a resistance amongst the citizens. The responsibility to protect, they call it R2P. Responsibility to protect is ultimately upon the citizens. If you read the preamble to the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, the preamble to the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, just in the preamble alone, it lays the responsibility ultimately on the individuals of the community to take that first stance. Then once we take a stance, others will be there and say, okay, you're being violated, especially if it's a violent violation. And of course, many nations are probably itching to kick the bully once the bully is engaged in a fight.
Yeah.
But that is up to us again. We have to take the first stance, at least stand up for ourselves. No man will stand up for another man who's a coward. But if they see that coward, they know he's a Pee Wee Herman standing up against the Hulk. They will respect that Pee Wee Herman by standing up against the Hulk. But if that's a Pee Wee Herman, he just sitting there crouching, don't even make any resistance, then you say, I'll let him kick Pee Wee Herman around. But they will respect Pee Wee Herman when he stands up against the Hulk. Yeah. So at least we have to make that stance a respectable stance as other nations made. They made respectable stances and others came to their aid. Others came, Chinese, Russians, they came to Zimbabwe's aid when they saw those soldiers fighting with hardly nothing against them. And other nations came to their aid. So we have to do the same before we can expect aid or assistance, we have to assist ourselves.
Yo, you cut out. You still there?
I'm here. Can you hear me? I'm here. Can you hear me? All right. What did I cut out on? What didn't you hear?
Nah, you had just cut out. You just cut out for a split second.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now I'm here.
So, as of right now, are you able to disclose like the different states that we have already established human rights policy officers in?
Yeah, I mean, they're probably, I don't say every state, but in most states, we have hundreds and hundreds, maybe near over 1,000, maybe now. Well, I don't even want to say that number, but they're in every state right now. Yeah. I'm seeing the question, so I wanted to address something. Somebody said Ramzu's plan sounds nice, but I think Hellraiser is more realistic. Yeah, of course, there are things that are realistic and things that sound nice but not realistic. Every people who gotten free, their plan was not realistic. The founding fathers of this nation who went to war with the greatest power history had ever seen at the time, which was the British, their plan wasn't realistic. You're going to go to war against the British who controls the seas, who the sun never sets on the British Empire. You little settlers inside of America, a new territory where barely any armed population going to go to war against that. It was unrealistic. Fidel Castro hit the beach of Cuba with about 80-something men, and immediately about 70 of them were murdered, and he went into the mountains with 14 men talking about he's going to take over Cuba. That was unrealistic. Mugabe and his men going into the bush of Zimbabwe, but the soldiers told me personally that they would face, it could be 100 of them against 1,000 Rhodesian soldiers in just one little battle and on one little battlefield, and the 100 of them wouldn't even have weapons. Only probably 15 would have weapons against 1,000 well-armed Rhodesian white soldiers. That was unrealistic. Every battle was unrealistic because the government ultimately has the power. So it's always unrealistic. But you got to follow what you know is right, what you know, not what's realistic, because what's realistic right now is that we're oppressed and the government has some power. That's real. So if I submit to that reality, then I would just die in that reality. I don't submit to that reality. I submit to a plan to change that reality. And we all must submit to a plan to change the reality instead of saying it's unrealistic. Everything is unreal until you conceive it. An automobile was unreal until they conceived it. An airplane was unreal until they conceived it. So everything is unreal until you actually work a plan to make it realistic, to make it realized.
Yeah, that's all. I mean that's and you know, that's my only statement towards. I don't think it's unreal. I just want to acknowledge the plan, and I want to focus on the plan. You know what I'm saying, to make it realistic. You know, that's my only thing, and I only say that to say just in general. You know, if I name all the groups, you know, from the Moors, the Hebrew Israelites, such and such tribe, and the such and such tribe, the such and such tribe, a long list. You know, we have all these different subsections and groups separating and dividing ourselves once again. You know, conflict, which is a big conflict of interest, and it's like, and we've divided ourselves once again, but have not come together and divided up any plans to execute to actually accomplish the mission. You know, that'd be my only thing. You know, what is the plan? What is the plan? Because we got multiple battles. It's not just one battle that we have to fight. That we fight. It's a multitude several battles on many different levels. Shit, it's a mental battle.
I mean,
physical battle, spiritual battle.
We would never. Yeah. I was getting ready to say that we can never expect the different groups to come together, you know, because we all divided by theological, philosophical, whatever you want to call it, reasons. You know, it's the action of the masses that create unity, at least amongst the masses. In every revolution, you'll see that the enlightened groups, they never came together. They didn't come together. Rarely did they come together. They might, but unless it was an action of life and death, like war, so we got to come together to fight these people. But they were always divided. It was the masses who united in action. Like in Detroit, not Detroit, but in Baltimore, for instance, it was the masses, including some Bloods and Crips, that came together in action. It didn't cause the Nation of Islam, Black Panthers, or any other organizations to come together. We're always going to have our ideological differences. So we all think we got so much knowledge more than the others, and ours is right. Knowledge dictates critical analysis of each other, and that's all we're going to do is critique each other. That's what knowledge dictates. That's why every movement that we've had in America, the biggest movements didn't attract the ones with knowledge. Marcus Garvey was opposed by other groups with knowledge. Elijah Muhammad was opposed by other groups with knowledge. But if they just focus on the masses who are the ones suffering, then you can forget those other groups. I don't try to engage and debate back and forth with other groups to join on what we're doing. I know what we're doing is an answer to the call of the masses, an answer to the suffering of the masses, an answer to gentrification, an answer to wrongful conviction, an answer to police terrorism and assassinations, and a way to get out of that through direct confrontation, not through theological confrontation and methodology or anything of that sort. So I'm not even counting on the people to everybody become enlightened, or these different religious groups or conscious groups to even unite at all. Won't happen.
We definitely can't bet on that. It'd be nice. It'd be great.
It'll be great. It'll be great.
Now you can like I said, people are more so. We have more more followers than leaders. So what will happen is, especially during times right here, right now, this is the perfect time and the prime time to start getting the attention of individuals that have been subject to one particular way of thinking or one particular group or whatever, because now it's going to get to the point where people are going to run out of their own individual resources and ways to and tools to navigate throughout the system and outside the system. So one thing's for certain: those that provide actual solutions that give people the protection and the resources and the things they need to survive out here. That's how we build our army right there. That's why if we focus on what works, everybody will come after that. So I feel the same way. It's like, I know everybody's separate, but we got to find a way to get their attention. How do we get their attention? Now we finna sit up here and argue because they finna argue their way to that dead end, and eventually they gonna turn around and realize that we already made it upstairs, and eventually they gonna come and walk their ass over there and ask us, okay, how y'all get up there, brother? Well, now that you're ready, come on over here. Now you just go right down here and you do this, do that. So it's real simple. All we gotta do is, as long as we standing on what works, you know what I'm saying? Simple as that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I agree with you. What works, and if we but not focus on what works here in America. We've tried everything. We have to do what's extraordinary. In order to get an extra result, it got to be something extraordinary, outside of the ordinary. So we can't think that we're gonna do the same old things and just a different group doing the same old things. We got to do something extraordinary that we haven't done in America yet. Yeah. And it seems radical, it seems extreme, and it's outside of our mentality, the things that we are required to really do. So we're gonna, just whoever is for it is for it, whoever's against it is against it. But in these type of actions, when you don't stand with the masses, then you actually stand against the masses. We need everybody to stand now. If you don't stand now, that means you're standing against it. That's democracy. That's the law of numbers. That's law in general. It needs the consent of the masses. So if people say no to it or they have doubts, then you just stood against yourself. You just stood against what we're doing. So this needs the massive move. So we will try to influence others to stand with us. But these groups, like you mentioned earlier, they're just a small percentage. So they want to sit and argue. I could be reaching 100,000 people while I'm arguing with 100, which our groups represent a small percentage.
Yeah. 100%. Well, just like I told bro when I first spoke to him, I'm whatever you need from me personally. Like I said, I do whatever I can to support. 'Cause like I said, we're part of the same fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
I'll commit to doing what I do best, and I know you're gonna do the same.
Yes, sir. You are appreciated, brother. You're needed. Like you said, you got your platform now. Where would I be today if you weren't doing what you were doing?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I I made it a priority because it is a priority. What's going on is my business. What you're doing is my business. Your problem is my problem, and that's how we got to think about it.
Exactly.
Whether we agree on every aspect, everything or not, it's still a mutual understanding on what needs to be done, regardless. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Indeed. Indeed.
that's just a learning experience as we get to learn each other more. I wanna, we supposed to get to the point. It's never a point of debate. It's a point of getting to know uh, each other's capabilities. You know what I'm saying? So we know what we actually have in our arsenal. You know what I'm saying? I know what so we know what we have access to when needed.
Indeed. 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 No, and we have to have critique. We're not paralysis of analysis. We shouldn't let that set in. But
Right.
if you have yes men, which I've been around presidents that and other leaders in other nations have a bunch of yes men. That's why they don't progress. Everybody say yes to the leader. They don't challenge them and say, hey, maybe okay, what you're saying overall may be right, but what about this, sir or ma'am? So we have to have critique, and that is, or that requires some level of intelligence. So I'm glad we do have intelligence amongst us because everybody can't be just sheep. We have to have a group of shepherds that can consult and help apply what we know we need to apply, what we learn to apply.
Absolutely. So my battery's finna shut off. Can you let the people know how do they sign up to become human rights officers, policy officers, and how to join the movement?
Yes, sir. www.humanrightspolicy.us. www.humanrightspolicy.u as an umbrella, S as in Sam. And if you don't have your reparations account, please go to reparationsbank.com. www.reparationsbank.com. My name is Ramzu Yunus. You can friend me on Facebook, see what we're doing. A lot of things are posted on my timeline. That's Ramzu Yunus, Ramzu, last name Yunus.
That you know what? I'm glad you mentioned that. I had people that have tons of questions about that. We uh can we set up another date to specifically discuss that?
Yes, sir. At your disposal.
Okay. All right. So I'll get this going, and I got to charge up, and I got another conference, and I'll touch base with you.
All
ASAP.
right, yes, sir. No problem.
Yep. Anything else you want to leave with the people before we tune out?
Well, if you can conceive it, you can achieve it, people. So let's see it. Let's envision it, and let's work for it. All power to the people. We need each other. We need to stand up. Let's stand up in love and unity, and we can accomplish what we will.
Okay. Just so y'all know, I am signed. I am a human rights policy officer as well. I signed up before I even met the brother, just because I supported the concept of what they was doing. I felt like it was my mission. So just so you guys know.
Thanks. You appreciate it, brother.
All right. Peace, y'all.
Peace.